If HYBE has shown us anything over the past decade, it's having a clear vision can change anything. BTS didn't just make HYBE rich, they turned it into a global powerhouse that completely changed how people see K pop. Their success gave HYBE both the money and confidence to compete with the world's biggest music labels, not just the ones at home in Korea. But K pop always works in cycles. Once, Big Hit was a tiny agency with no resources, and then suddenly BTS happened. Now, they're leading the entire Korean music industry and fighting it in the global stage. Now we're seeing the start of another major shift. New agencies and new groups are emerging, and they're not just trying to follow the old model, they're trying to reinvent it. The fifth generation of K pop isn't only about who sings or dances the best, it's about who can build the strongest story, the smartest global strategy, and the most emotionally loyal fan base. And right in the middle of the fight are four names everyone is watching: CORTIS, ILLIT, RIIZE, and Baby Monster. They're talented, ambitious, and backed by massive agencies. But their approaches couldn't be more different. Some are traditional, others are experimental. Some chase global reach, others double down on local loyalty. The question now is who will end up setting the standard for what K pop means in the next decade. HYBE's pivot from Korean giant to global builder. It's impossible to talk about this new era without acknowledging HYBE's dominance. BTS is still influencing pop culture everywhere. 17 keeps breaking records and selling millions of albums, and Le Sserafim has carved a path into Western markets from Coachella performances to global brand campaigns. But Hybe's real transformation goes deeper than chart success. The company has stopped thinking like a Korean label and started acting like a global music empire. BTS's success gave them the financial muscle and creative freedom to take bigger risks. They've strategically partnered with Western labels without giving control over their own creatives. They've launched English language singles. They're sending artists to US events and radio shows and creating entire promotional ecosystems that make their acts feel born global and not just exported from Korea. This is more than marketing. It's actually a long term shift. The next era of K pop won't be defined only by who wins the most trophies in Korean music shows or who sells out the most Seoul concerts. It will be decided by who can build sustainable global fandoms, understand cultural differences, and create art that feels both international and personal. But one thing never changes. Every time the system becomes too predictable, a new underdog appears. Remember, Big Hit once disrupted the K pop hierarchy, and the next game changer could be forming right now. Gen Z and Gen Alpha, the pulse of fifth generation. Here's something every new group needs to understand: Gen Z and Gen Alpha are not the same kind of fans K pop used to have. They don't just listen to music, they live it, remix it, meme it, and turn it into an identity. Gen Z loves depth. They spend hours building playlists, discovering lesser-known artists, and blending genres: hip hop, R&B, pop, indie rock, and even 2000s throwbacks. It's all fair game. They often discover old songs through viral TikTok sounds or fan edits. And once they connect with something emotionally, they dig deep into that artist's entire world. Gen Alpha, meanwhile, is growing up in a world that's even more visual and interactive. For them, a music video or a short clip on YouTube Shorts or TikTok can be the start of a fandom. They're drawn to strong visual instant storytelling and aesthetics that can be easily shared or remixed online. Interestingly, they're also starting to appreciate physical media again: albums, vinyls, and collectibles. Maybe because they want something tangible in their digital lives. Both generations are hyper visual and hyper connected. To them, the sound and the image are one and the same. The borders between music, design, performance, and narrative have completely blurred. That's why groups like CORTIS and ILLIT are so intriguing to them. They understand that today's fans want more than a catchy chorus. They want a whole world to step into. Every comeback has its own story, color palette, and emotional vibe. They're using music videos, styling, and even choreography to tell stories that feel cinematic and layered. Rise and Baby Monster, on the other hand, stay closer to traditional K pop formulas. Bright colors, powerful choreography, high gloss visuals. It's a style that works, especially in Asia, but it's also more familiar. The truth is, success in fifth gen K pop isn't about who has the best voice or the slickest choreography anymore. It's about who can build the most immersive universe where sound, visual, and emotion all connect. Local versus global. One of K pop's biggest mysteries is how a group can be huge in one country and barely known in another. It's been that way for years. Girls' Generation dominated Korea, while Kara ruled Japan. That split is getting even more intense today. Why? Because the world now consumes music in completely personalized ways. Cultural taste. What sounds emotional or cool in Korea might not land the same way in Europe or the US. Algorithms. TikTok and YouTube feed you with what you already like, so fans get trapped in smaller bubbles of content. Time abroad. New K pop groups are spending more time overseas doing tours, collaborations, and even filming variety content locally, which helps them connect but are also forcing them to adapt. This means being the biggest act in Korea doesn't automatically make you the biggest globally anymore. Some groups will rule Asia, others will find their main audience in the West. A few rare ones might balance both. YG Entertainment figured this out early. Even back in 21 days, YG was working with Western producers and chasing the international market. Blackpink took it all the way, collaborating with Selena Gomez, Lady Gaga, and Dua Lipa, while releasing full English singles that helped them dominate globally. Baby Monster, YG's new big girl group, seems ready to follow the model. Bold, Western friendly pop with hip hop energy. HYBE, however, is taking a different approach. Instead of pushing K pop outward, they're building it in place. Their group, especially Cortis, is debuting with global awareness baked in. They are in the US right now doing fan events at Barnes and Nobles. They're appearing in iHeartRadio and joined US based brand campaigns. It's less about K pop acts visiting America and more about artists who happen to be Korean and already a part of the global scene. That's a big difference in mindset, and it might be the key to long term relevance globally. Sound wise, Baby Monster is sticking to the signature YG style, pop with hip hop swagger and attitude. It's catchy, confident, and distinctly YG. But to connect deeply with Western Gen Z listeners, they might need to evolve beyond that. Primarily because Blackpink already used that sound. The market is gonna want for something more. Rise and Baby Monster clearly dominate in Korea and across Asia. Both sold out most of their Asian tour dates and maintain strong regional followings. Cordis and ILLIT, while newer, are already showing global reach. Both have landed in Billboard 200, and ILLIT even broke into Billboard Hot 100, a rare feat for a rookie girl group. The gap between local and global will keep widening. Some groups will own their home turf, others will thrive abroad. But the ones that can balance both, emotionally and strategically, will define what the fifth generation of K pop truly becomes. Depth versus breadth. How far and deep can fandom go? Every K pop act lives in two fandom worlds. First is depth. The hardcore fans. They are the people who buy multiple album versions, stream every comeback to the second it drops, attend every concert, sometimes in multiple countries, and run projects to promote or support their idols. They make banners, organize events, and crowdfund everything from LED billboards to charity drives. Then there's breadth, the casual audience. These are the listeners who stream a song because it's trending or because they like it, maybe attend a concert if it's nearby, and move on when the next big group comes along. They might not know every member's name, but they're still a part of what keeps the group visible to the general public. They are often called the GP. The real challenge for any fifth gen is to win both. You need the loyal fan base who will never leave, but also the wide audience who keeps your name in circulation. So far, Rise and Baby Monster are the strongest in this balance. Rise has built massive popularity in Korea and across Asia. Their sound, bright, emotional, and slightly nostalgic, reminds people of early 2010s K-pop but feels new enough for younger market. Their tour across Asia sold out quickly, and their fandom, Rise, is also showing the kind of organization you'd expect from an established group. Baby Monster also did extremely well in their Asian tour. While their US shows had a few venues with closed off sections, the overall turnout was impressive for a rookie group. Their sound, attitude, and performance style are pure YG, loud, confident, and made for the stage. CORTIS and ILLIT, meanwhile, are still at the start of their journey, but their potential looks huge. Both entered Billboard 200 right after debut, something that once seemed impossible for a new K-pop act. And ILLIT made history by entering Billboard Hot 100. Depth builds your empire. Breadth keeps it alive. The group that can have both, fans who stay, and a public that keeps paying attention will dominate not just the charts, but the entire culture. The rebellion against over engineered narratives. When BTS first built their entire fictional universe through their music, from Wayang Yonhwa to Map of the Soul, it felt revolutionary. The lore, the symbolism, and the storylines. No one had ever done it like that before. And for a while, many groups tried to do the same. They all failed. And so new groups are pivoting. Take Rise, for example. They call their music emotional pop. Their lyrics talk about friendship, youth, uncertainty, and love, not in abstract metaphors, but in ways that feel real. It's music you can feel without having to decode. Another fifth gen group, TWS, call their music boyhood pop. Then there's CORTIS, who are playing a very different game. Instead of following a single ongoing storyline or differentiating themselves through a subgenre, they create songs that can be reinterpreted. Each comeback opens up to new meanings, with multiple music video offering different perspectives on the same theme. Take Joyride, for example. On the surface, it's a song about rebellion and freedom, but its visuals warp time, surreal travel, playful chaos. They turned it into something layered and cinematic. It's not a single story, it's an open ended experience. ILLIT, on the other hand, has gone all in on their identity as magical girls. They've leaned into that branding across every comeback, and it's paying off. It's memorable, visual, and flexible enough to evolve as they grow. Their upcoming album reportedly has more members' involvement in concept, planning, and songwriting, which will help deepen their connection. The pattern is clear. Instead of creating long storylines, the new generation is building emotional genres. But outcasts like Cortez are crafting worlds that can be shaped to the liking of the consumer. Technological integration. The bond between idols and fans is no longer just built through concerts or physical albums. It's becoming an entire digital ecosystem, one that stretches from your phone to virtual worlds. Web3 tools like NFT memberships or fan tokens are letting fans feel a real sense of ownership in their favorite groups. These tools don't just help in marketing, They're redefining fandom itself. Fans can interact with their idols in virtual meetups, co create digital content, and even vote in merchandise or projects. Every touchpoint becomes a way to strengthen emotional connection. For the new generation of K pop, it's no longer about who has the best song, it's also about who builds the best experience. Beyond the trainee system, the traditional K pop trainee system, years of strict training, little personal freedom, and total company control, is starting to evolve. Today's idols are expected to do more than just perform perfectly. They need to think like artists, storytellers, and even entrepreneurs. Fans also care more about integrity now. They want idols who contribute creatively, people who write, produce, or at least have a voice in their release. Cordis is a great example of this shift. From the start, the members have been part of their creative process, writing lyrics, working on concepts, and even co directing music videos and creating their own versions. Hybe provides professional producers to guide them, but the creative DNA comes from the group itself. This model not only trains idols to be artists, but also build long-term value for fans who crave authenticity. ILLIT took the opposite approach. Their agency planned out a clear direction, a magical girl brand, and then gave the members freedom to add personal touches within that framework. RIIZE and Baby Monster, meanwhile, are still following more traditional systems from SM and YG, where visuals, sound, and choreography are tightly managed. It's working for them now. Both groups are commercially successful, but longevity will depend on whether they eventually get the creative freedom to reinvent themselves. Interestingly, some smaller Korean agencies are also testing new training models, like shorter project based trainee programs or creator incubators that blend idol training with content production and songwriting. That experimentation could redefine how idols debut in the future. The message is clear: the idols who understand their own artistry and take part in creating it will be the ones to last. Superfans to communities. BTS didn't just build a fandom, they built a movement. ARMY changed what a fan engagement could actually look like. They organized projects, donated to charities, and turned fandom into communities. Hybe recognized that and built Weavers, a platform where fans could connect, create, and spend all within one space. The idea has spread across the entire industry. Newer groups are building not just fan bases but actual communities. Through platforms like Bubble, Weavers, fans get direct access to their idols through private messages, live streams, and digital events. Now, new technology is pushing that even further. Fan tokens and NFTs are giving fans access to exclusive events and collectibles. Virtual fan meetings let international fans join without ever leaving home. Micro content and behind the scenes vlogs make idols feel more human and accessible. Fan led projects, from playlist creation to charity drives, keep fandom active between comebacks. This shift could even change how money flows in the industry. Instead of depending only on big album sales or tours, companies can generate revenue through continuous online interaction, microtransactions, limited digital merch, or member exclusive content. In other words, being a fan isn't just about buying an album anymore. It's about being a part of an ongoing experience. So, who will end up dominating the fifth gen? I don't think there is one ultimate answer. I think the days of one group dominating completely like BTS did, I think that is done. Everything is more leveled now. It is more global, more diverse, but also more digital. But there are patterns that are emerging. I think definitely Baby Monster and Rise have a strong hold in Asia. They have the agency support, they have a strong fan base, and they are making a push. But more importantly, they are using a formula that has been proven by their agency to be a success. And the big advantage, for example, of YG Entertainment is that they have a really strong positioning as the alternative to the traditional Korean look and sound. And he has established himself there. I'm talking about Yang Yun Suk. So there will always be a need for the alternative, and he provides that. On the other hand, for SM Entertainment, there is always a need for the traditional sound, and they're providing it. But I think that if they want to become more than just a K-pop group, they definitely do need to evolve because the market is going to ask for more. As I've said in the video, for example, for Baby Monster, that sound has been used by Blackpink, and so you would want something new. On the other hand, Cordis and ILLIT are taking bigger risks. They are experimenting with sound, building their distinct identities, and that is attracting international attention. But that takes time as well because, for example, for ILLIT, they really want to build their magical girls brand, and that took time, of course. But I think once the girls have a full grasp of the concept and once they are very comfortable in their own skin, that's when they're going to make a push to the North American market. Cordis is a little different, primarily because these are older Gen Z, younger Gen Alpha, maybe, sorry, younger Gen Z, older Gen Alpha even. And so their sound is naturally global. But more than anything else, they came into Big Hit into Hype when the structure is a little bit more settled. And so the resources are there for them to use. The plans are there. They've I'm talking about Hybe and Big Hit. They've tested so many things and they kind of know what's going to work. They have a bit more direction now. And so I think that is going to allow them to sort of get into the North American market earlier. But it's exciting. I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below. Maybe you have a different bet. Maybe there's something I'm missing. You can say whatever it is that you want to say, but please do so respectfully. And please consider donating to the channel. You should be seeing the QR code right now. We are on a soft launch phase of the website, asianentertainmentandculture.com. But hopefully by next month or at the end of the month, we're going to be able to formally launch it. And I would appreciate any kind of suggestions, contributions, anything. Please check it out. Also, please follow me on X, Instagram, but more importantly on Patreon because that's where the community is. If you want some people to talk with about TV shows, movies, controversial topics, or just to have fun, that's the place for you. We do have a free tier just in case you want to try things out. I also open my YouTube membership. I have a live stream once a week and also exclusive videos just for them. Those things don't go public. Please consider following me there as well. And that's it. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification button. But most importantly, please share the video. Please share the channel. Send it to your friends, family members. Leave a link on your social media, on your email, everywhere. That is going to tell the algorithm to recommend this more. Thank you so much. Till next time.